Vice President Pence speaks out on deceptive polling. In a recent interview, Vice President Mike Pence spoke out on the polls that have President Trump trailing Joe Biden by double digits. He told Breitbart reporters that polling is broken in America. Pence also revealed that, like many Americans, he doesn't believe what the poll results say. He said, "I didn't believe the polls in 2016, and I don't believe the polls in 2020. I think there is greater enthusiasm today than there was 4 years ago, and I really believe it's because who Trump is, what he's done, and what he's been willing to endure. He's never stopped fighting," he continued. The vice president usually refrains from making divisive statements, and this one about polling is no different. While it may be harsh, it is completely in line with President Trump's latest messaging. Trump has routinely bashed polls on Twitter and called them fake news. He also points out, much like Pence did, that the polls in the 2016 election also projected a loss. Of course, they were wrong. So maybe the polls are made up and the numbers don't matter, but without them, how do we know who's coming out ahead in 2020? Pence reminded Breitbart of something really important. Donald Trump runs his own campaign, and he knows exactly what he is doing. I think if you look back at 2016 campaign, one thing was clear to me. There was one person running the campaign, and that never changed, Pence said. And it's still true today. It's Tucker Carlson versus the New York Times in the latest battle against fake news. On Monday night, Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson went on the offensive, reporting that the New York Times would soon be running a story on him that featured details of his private life, including the address of the home he shares with his family. "One more thing before we go tonight," he said prior to closing out the hit show, talked a little bit about his career, and then noted that last week, the New York Times began working on a story about where my family and I live. As a matter of journalism, there is no conceivable justification for a story like that, he revealed. The paper is not alleging we've done anything wrong, and we haven't. We pay our taxes, we like our neighbors, we've never had a dispute with anyone. So why is the New York Times doing a story on the location of my family's house? Carlson didn't hold back in his accusation against the newspaper. He insisted that the only reason the publication was targeting him was because of his conservative views, saying, "They're doing this to hurt us, to injure my wife and kids so that I will shut up and stop disagreeing with them." Following his closing segment, Tucker fans took matters into their own hands and gave the New York Times a taste of their own bitter medicine. Within hours, an army of Twitter accounts started publicly posting the address and personal information of the reporter Carlson identified as the story's writer. Many encouraged people to harass the reporter online. While Tucker has not condoned the activity of his loyal followers, supporters of the New York Times are already blaming him for the threatening tweets made on his behalf. This seems to be the start of a much bigger battle against fake news between the Fox News favorite and the failing New York Times. Kanye West goes after Joe Biden. Rap superstar and potential presidential candidate Kanye West is no stranger to controversy, but his latest comments about the Democrat nominee have angered the left. Apparently, they just hate that Kanye is questioning whether or not all black people should be voting for Joe Biden. In a series of now deleted tweets, he went after Biden saying, "I guess all black people are supposed to vote on Joe Biden? Do you want me to run or not?" The suggestion that all black people are supposed to vote for Biden is presumably a reference to Biden's now infamous gaffe from May when he said that black people who don't vote for him ain't black. The comment inspired Biden supporters to flood Kanye's mentions with hateful comments about Trump and insensitive questions about Kanye's mental health, which is an ironic thing for Biden supporters to be questioning, really. Kanye replied by hinting that he might be putting his campaign on hold. As of now, he has submitted petitions to have his name appear on the ballot in one state, Illinois, the home state of Biden's former running mate, Barack Obama. Maybe Biden supporters do have a cause for concern. Donald Trump tells Joe Biden he has an obligation to take a mental test. Democrat nominee Joe Biden is known for his gaffes on the campaign trail, but President Donald Trump is growing concerned that his missteps may be more than just your everyday mistakes. In an interview with Fox News, the president questioned whether or not Joe Biden was cognitively fit for the presidency. He told contributor Dr. Mark Siegel that, honestly, he should take the test, in a way, as an obligation, because you have to be able to show this country that the person we're picking as leader is sharp. He added that something is going on with Biden, implying that the results of the mental testing might not be so good for Joe. This demand for a test comes just days after the president would not answer whether or not he believed Joe Biden to be senile when asked by Chris Wallace. "I don't want to say that," Trump said to Chris. "I just say that he's not competent to be president. To be president, you have to be sharp and tough and so many other things." While the president's demand may be harsh, it's not hypocritical. President Trump says that he too has undergone mental testing. In case you had any doubts at all, he says he received a perfect mark.